The NFL is one of the most competitive and scrutinized sports environments in the world. Every throw, every snap, every player is analyzed to exhaustion. But what happens when the issue isn't performance, it's politics? That's exactly what seems to have happened to Shedeur Sanders at the Cleveland Browns. A promising quarterback with a strong college resume, Shedeur arrived in the league full of expectations, only to be sidelined, excluded from first-team reps, and kept far from the spotlight. It didn't look like mismanagement. It looked like someone was trying to bury him, on purpose. Fans and insiders started noticing something strange at Browns training camp. While Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel were getting full-speed reps with the starters, Shedeur was stuck throwing to backups, practice squad players, and even defensive backs filling in as wide receivers. This wasn't about easing in a rookie. It looked like calculated exclusion. Shedeur wasn't being evaluated, he was being erased. Every time he stepped on the field, it felt like the deck was stacked against him. Not because of what he was doing, but because of what they were trying to stop him from doing. The narrative being pushed to the media was even more suspicious. 3 completions out of 8 attempts, some practice reports claimed. But they left out the context: broken plays, unfamiliar targets, 0 rhythm, and no starting O-line protection. Meanwhile, Pickett's own interceptions and poor reads vanished from public reports. It became clear, this wasn't about letting the best man win. It was about controlling the story. And in that story, Shedeur Sanders was the invisible character they hoped no one would notice. For a while, the plan seemed to be working. Training camps were closed, footage was filtered, and the official narrative stayed intact. Shedeur was developing. But then came a 23-second clip. No watermark. No spin. Just raw footage of Shedeur in a closed scrimmage, reading the defense, planting his foot, and throwing a laser of a touchdown pass. That clip hit social media like wildfire. Within hours, it had over 1 million views. And with it, the truth could no longer be contained. Shedeur Sanders was being hidden, and now the whole world knew. That one clip flipped the entire narrative. Fans demanded answers. If Sanders could throw like that under pressure, why wasn't he getting fair reps? Why was he invisible in team reports? Why was he always working with fringe players while others got the stars? What followed was a wave of leaks, revelations, and internal panic within the Browns organization. What started as whispers turned into evidence. And what looked like paranoia from fans suddenly became a full-blown scandal. Alleged internal text messages surfaced, conversations between GM Andrew Berry and team staff, suggesting a clear strategy. No media coverage for Sanders, no high-pressure drills, no chance to outshine the veterans. Whether the messages were 100% legit didn't matter. The damage was already done. Fans didn't see a fair quarterback battle. They saw a calculated takedown. And suddenly, the Browns weren't just protecting veterans, they were covering up a potential star's rise. Next came the practice grade sheets. Internal performance data used by coaches, never meant for public eyes. In those numbers, Shedeur had a positive EPA, expected points added, leading efficient drives in practice. Meanwhile, Pickett had a negative EPA, throwing red zone interceptions and stalling momentum. But those numbers had been buried. According to insiders, the front office fed hand-picked stats to friendly reporters to paint Shedeur as inconsistent, while hiding Pickett's flaws. It wasn't just bias, it was information warfare. The deeper you look, the uglier it gets. Reports showed Shedeur had gone entire days, full training sessions, without a single rep with the starting offense. No red zone plays. No 2-minute drills. No protections to call. Just developmental work with third stringers and converted defenders. It wasn't just limited reps, it was strategic exile, designed to keep him out of the conversation and off the depth chart. And even then, he still managed to shine when it counted most. With the video spreading and pressure building, people inside the Browns started talking. Head coach Kevin Stefanski had reportedly already voiced concerns to ownership. He wanted the QB situation resolved fairly and quickly, not dragged out by internal politics. And when that 23-second touchdown clip went viral, the team had no more cover. It wasn't just a fan movement anymore, it became a credibility crisis for the front office. What happened next would shake the entire organization. Ownership called an emergency meeting. The decision: Immediate termination of GM Andrew Berry. No press conference, no drawn-out process, just a simple directive. Pack your office and leave before the next practice starts. Sources say the vote was 4-1 in favor of the firing. It was a statement move. Favoritism and manipulation had consequences. The Browns wanted to clean house before the scandal got even worse. But for many, the damage was already irreversible. This entire situation forces us to confront a hard truth about the NFL. The league loves to preach meritocracy, the best player wins. But in reality, politics, ego, and image often take priority. Sometimes, talented young players aren't overlooked because they're not ready. They're ignored because their success would create uncomfortable questions. The Shedeur Sanders case shows how easy it is to control a narrative, and how hard it is to stop it once the truth leaks out. Shedeur's journey has become more than just a quarterback competition. It's a symbol, a reminder that no matter how much talent you have, sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't on the field, it's behind the scenes. And for every Shedeur who breaks through, how many are buried before they get a chance? How many careers are shaped by politics instead of performance? The NFL owes it to its players, and its fans, to answer that. Shedeur Sanders exposed something the NFL would rather keep hidden, that sometimes, the biggest game isn't played on Sundays. It's played in meeting rooms, in internal emails, in back-channel conversations. He lit up the field when they finally gave him a shot. And a single viral video forced an entire organization to reckon with the truth. But here's the scary part. What if that video never leaked? What if no one ever saw that touchdown? For every hidden highlight, there's a player waiting to be seen. Let's hope the league is finally ready to look.
I've been chasing these dreams.